Okay, welcome to WoW Waves of Wellness. And oh, there she is. Okay, let me let her in. And my name's Tracee. Most of you, I think, do know me. And we still have 1 quarter left of 2023, which is the year of me and of you. And self-care is the theme. Loving yourself to health is the theme. It's the way we get there. Okay. And so many of us live in busy land and we don't tend to stop and do that. And we're going to focus on doing that a lot in the rest of this call. Okay. So we'll provide you the tools and then you have to meet us halfway and actually take action. Okay. So I started the Waves of Wellness community so that I can help you live a better life. And just today, hello, there you are.
Yeah, I couldn't. By the time I got everything connected, I just barely got on. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. So, Dr. G, you're going to have to unmute yourself. Okay, so essentially, ooh. I'll have to edit that out. That was funny. Okay, so yeah, if you guys could just please make sure you're muted, that would be fabulous. And so I started the Waves of Wellness because I wanted to help you develop healthy lifestyle habits so that when you go through the Q arc or even on a daily basis using the QT wave, that you're able to achieve even better results. Okay. And I do believe that you are not too old and it's never too late to do a complete 180 and change the trajectory of your health. And I really firmly know, because I've worked with lots of clients through the years, that this is possible. So by simply adding one new habit every week and compounding these habits, layering them, you will create a lasting lifestyle change. And that lasting lifestyle change will help maintain all of your results as well as help you get there faster. Okay, think about your body like it's a car. You have to change your oil when it's time. You have to put in the proper fuel when it's time. If you put diesel in a gas running car, what's going to happen? You know, it's going to mess up. But through the years, we haven't known to take care of our bodies. And so we've gotten sick. And you've heard me talk about Jing. Well, we came up with the term Jing jar because healthy habits put energy into this Jing jar. Jing is energy. Okay. And unhealthy habits, you know, stress, toxins, all kinds of chemicals, different things take things out of the Jing jar. All right. And we want to, Kelly, I'm going to make you co-host too. Okay. We want to fill that up because when that Jing jar is empty, guess what? This flesh suit ends. So you can't pour from an empty cup. So we need to fill your love cup up first so that you can better serve everyone else and not have resentment. And this weekend, my son read me this quote and I was like, whoa, that is just the best quote. Jack London stated, "The function of man is to live, not to just exist. I shall not waste my days trying to prolong them. I shall use my time." So our goal here is to use your time with joy and with fun and with a great life. They say that it's not the years in your life, but it's the life in your years. But what if it could be both, you guys? Would that just be awesome if you had both many years in your life, but you had so much life in your years? Because most people, and I think you will agree, most people live too short and they die too long, meaning they contract a degenerative disease early on. And, you know, I'm saying like 60 is early on. Okay. And then what happens is they are living with pain, low energy, and just sitting there. I look at my own mom and my stepdad, they just have no life. And that is heartbreaking. And we are not going to let that happen. We are going to provide so many tools for you. And It's about how you use your time, because we all have the same 24 hours in our day, but the difference is we use that time doing things that are important to us. Sorry, I have to sit this way, you guys. I fractured my toe, so it's up on the desk. And so I have a background of, I'm a health coach, a sports nutritionist, a personal trainer, and I have my cohort, Dr. Gloria, that's going to be on every show with me. And she's been in medical practice for decades as a naturopath, a homeopath, and a writer. So you want to say hi, Dr. Gloria?
Well, hello, everybody. Boy, one thing we've learned on this group in this entire endeavor is to be flexible, haven't we? And flexibility means exactly what Tracee just said. I mean, if you are in this box of, I can't cook, I can't eat healthy, it's too much work, what happens? It becomes that. We are what we radiate. We are what we think. So Tracee's going to help us understand that exercise is vital, but it doesn't have to be, because I, for one, will not go to a gym. I've admitted that even to Cynthia the other day, but I always had a gym in my home. So Tracee's going to help us how to be able to actually add that life to your years, not years to your life. Because as she said, you're actually just surviving. You're not living. So with all of that said, we've had a lot of comments about the homework that Tracee gave you. What feedback have you had, or what can we go through here about the homework?
Let's start off by, if you guys can raise your hand if you did the vision statement. I would just want to see how many people did it. Okay. No, raise your hand like on your little thing if you can, so I can see it better, because then you'll all pop up to the front. Okay. Good. Thank you. Oh, hi, Simone. Awesome. 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 So everything everything begins with our beliefs, right? And that vision will help you anchor a strong belief that will help you make it important to do everything else. Okay. I'll talk more about compliance versus commitment. And if you wrote your vision statement, you are committed. If you are reading it twice a day, in the morning and the night, you are super committed. So I applaud you for that. If you haven't written it, it's not too late. Remember, you're not too old and it's never too late. So thank you for that. And then let's see, how about who has either implemented the rebounding or the dry brushing? Go ahead and put your hand back up.
Let's do one at a time. Who's done the rebounding?
Well, I just want them to do one of those. If they've done one or both, it doesn't matter, but just take an action in one way on the lymph. Fabulous. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Go ahead and put those down. We have one more question. Who did the saliva test to see if they had candida?
I think most people did.
Awesome. Look at that. Bravo. Fabulous.
Yes, and
thank you.
I bet that most of you were very, very surprised the result.
I was.
Most people are.
I was super surprised. Yep. Okay, so today we're going to have another homework assignment. But first, what I want to say is that Ellen's not going to be here today. So guess who you get? Me. Ellen will be here next week. When I changed the time last minute, as per Cynthia, I forgot to ask the guest. So my big bad, but it's okay. We can do this. So the thing that I want to have you really resonate, or really just contemplate is the word, this week is your beliefs. Okay. And we're going to talk about that when I get to my section. So Dr. Gloria is going to, at the end, she's going to share a really good recipe with you. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Not sharing the recipe yet. Are you going to share it,
or am I going to just tell them about it?
Just give them a teaser.
Oh, that's what I thought. I don't want to share it yet. Come on. Do you want me to do it at the end?
Just give them a teaser about your anti-inflammatory cooking, and then we will go to the recipe at the end.
Okay, so people keep saying, what does anti-inflammatory cooking mean? What it means is understanding, because nobody teaches you this, understanding what foods we know contain the chemical solanase or solanin, which is like adding fuel to the fire. There is no scientific proof that if you don't have any inflammation in your body that it's going to give it to you. Okay, get that clear up front. But when you have inflammation, and we know scientifically that over 90% of the population has inflammation, whether it's headaches, whether it's in your mouth, your gums. Having been in dentistry so long, I had all kinds of dental issues, and it was a false sense of security because I had all this expensive dental work. Well, guess what happens under the dental work after a while? You get infections, you get decay, and X-ray doesn't show it. So anti-inflammatory diet means that you understand. It's us helping you to understand what is really causing inflammation, whether it's arthritis or fibromyalgia or gum disease or gout. As long as you keep adding chemicals, which is all the preservatives and the food coloring and the flavor enhancers, especially MSG. And when we get to that, we'll do a show on that, and I will have a list for you of all the aliases that MSG can legally be in your food. So my recipes have everything from scratch, and I will show you and share with you how to make even a very, very, very rich Italian sauce with no tomatoes. But I won the award in New York City because the judges couldn't tell there were no tomatoes. Okay? And so when people say, what do I put on my pizza? And you told me not to eat tomatoes and no peppers. Well, I'll show you how. So, that's the teaser. You don't have to give up the flavors. You have to give up what's inducing the inflammation in the flavors. And for any of you that don't know what annatto is, does anybody here know what annatto is? Raise your hand on the screen. Annatto, A-N-N-A-T-T-O?
I don't.
Okay, in Mexican markets, or Kelly knows, I figured, in Latin culture, it's called, and I just went blank, achiote, A-C-H-I-O-T-E. But annatto is what you see in a lot of natural food that says annatto natural food coloring. That's what gives it that red or that reddish orange color. Even in my natural grain-free graham crackers, it says annatto because they're kind of a orangey color, okay? Those are the things I'm going to show you. Those are the things I'm going to teach you, and we will give you a list of specifics. So you'll have a guide. Don't think about, oh my God, she talks fast and I've got to write it all down. No, we'll give you a handout, just like all of the people I've worked with and taught all these years. So that's what anti-inflammation cooking means, is not getting rid of the flavor, but learning to say, wow, and I had tomatoes all those years, and I had arthritis, and you mean I can just change the red stuff in it and make it taste just as good? Yep. You just cook it long enough. That's when a slow cooker comes in handy, and you let it reduce. You cook it over 24 hours or more, let it reduce down to half, and you've got the thickest, richest Sicilian sauce. And my recipes are from my patients and from my classes that I took in Italy. So that's the teaser.
Well, your teaser, your recipe is not that sauce, but I guess we're going to have to give it to them also because you've already made their mouth water.
Well, can't give it to them today, but I will. But no, to your point, Tracee, the sauce can be put on those. Should I say what they are?
Sure.
They're cauliflower cheese sticks. So when you cut them, they look like a piece of French bread, cut finger size. And if you want to make them like a pizza, you use the red sauce. In the recipe that I have, there's no red sauce in it, but you can do that later on. So experiment. I always experiment. My friends, when I had a neighborhood, which I don't right now, loved it because they were my taste testers. And they were very honest. And they were like, this can't be cauliflower. They're cauliflower breadsticks, and all of the dough is made with cauliflower that you've riced. So you'll get the recipe. I believe it's going to be published tomorrow on Friday. Is that correct?
It will be in the newsletter Friday, but
Yes.
You're going to talk about it tomorrow. I mean, today at the end of the call.
Today, yes. So you'll get the actual recipe. So don't hurry up and try to start writing because I'll give you the basic ingredients. But the point is that it's delicious. Try it. Don't go, cauliflower, just because I'm saying it's anti-inflammatory. I know that one person on this committee already said, oh, I'm going to try them this weekend. And she texted me today. So it's fun because once you find how well you feel, and don't expect immediate results, give your body 9 days, 3 months. And at the end of 3 months, I've had people say, "Oh, I changed everything you told me, Dr. G. And I'm still hurting. I still have arthritis. Mind you, they've had it for 30 years. And I'll say, okay, then go back to eat whatever you're craving. Go back and eat, a jalapeno, have some salsa, have some bread with gluten, do whatever you are craving." And they call me back within 2 days and go, "Oh my God, I'm in so much pain." Just like Tracee has talked about before, right? With the gluten. Yeah. Once your body understands, because you're just coping with the inflammation, you're not getting to the root cause. Once you do, you will never go back. I have even had somebody in a medical conference who had the nerve to offer me $1,000 to eat a baked potato with cheese sauce. And everybody applauded when I said, "Sorry, you could triple that or more," and I wouldn't have it because I'll hurt for 2 weeks and it's not worth it. And I'm pain-free. I'm not doing that at 76 years old. So that's what you're going to learn. And I will talk about the recipe. You want me to go ahead and talk about that now?
Nope. We're going to make them stay to the end.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. That's what I thought. So I'm pulling it up now so that I make sure I tell you what I need to tell you about the recipe, but it's fun. And it's so cool when you start feeling better. And this is the goal of everything that Cynthia is helping us to create, is that it's the goal to help all the members to live longer, live healthier, but share that. Don't be stingy with it. The idea is I've always taught and I love teaching. And I love teaching cooking. But you have to be able to share it. Once you perfect it, you can honestly say, "Those were really good. I thought she was a little bit, her elevator wasn't going to the top floor, but I realized it was."
That's a good one.
Kick it away, Tracee.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So to fill in for Ellen, we're going to talk about my favorite topic, exercise. And I see that there's 42 people in the room. I know who you are. You can't leave now. All right. I'm locking you in. So everything we do or everything we don't do is because we feel like it's going to make our life better. All right. It's going to make us happier. And it all starts with how we feel, what our belief system is. So for me, I know that when I exercise, it is an input into my Jing. Go ahead and raise your hand if you feel like exercise takes Jing out of your cup. Like it's too much work. It's too hard. You don't like it. Go ahead. Don't be shy. I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys. Okay. So if I can be vulnerable, you can be vulnerable as well. That's what Alex said to me. You're so vulnerable. Awesome. So not that many. So I believe that it's because you haven't found the right way for you yet. Okay. So the goal here is to help you discover what you love. And once you start a plan and you have some consistency, then what happens is the endorphins kick in and you will never look back. Okay. So I started working on fitness. Well, I shouldn't say working, but doing fitness in college. I had asthma when I was younger and I never did anything physical, never played sports, didn't do anything. And then this gym opened up on my campus and they had aerobics. Remember high impact, like aerobics and all that. And I was hooked. I loved it so much that I developed shin splints because I'm bow-legged and pigeon-toed. Go figure. Not a really good combo, And so I would get shin splints and I was so hooked that I would take Advil before and go to class anyway, because I loved how when I was done, how like that endorphin high was just so beautiful. I also started running and then I started strength training, all of this in college. And, but I was really loving running, but I was beating up my body. And like literally I'd run, train for a race, and then I'd be in rehab for a month because I had patellar tendonitis and shin splints. And so I had to like reinvent myself when I stopped running. I've always pretty much done yoga for about 30 years. But I was beating myself up. And what I discovered is that we don't have to beat ourselves up to have a good fitness level. It doesn't have to be really hard. So my goal here is to help you work on your belief system so that we can shift that. Okay. So that you can look forward to a form of exercise instead of it feeling like work, so that you feel like you're filling up your jing jar instead of taking it out and emptying it. Okay. And it doesn't happen overnight, but we didn't get sick overnight either, right? We didn't develop arthritis overnight or pain or any other dis-ease. It gradually comes. Like they say, what's the first sign of cancer? Usually it's a tumor. What is the first sign of a heart attack, which is still the number one killer of both men and women? It is usually, no, sorry, heart disease. The first sign of heart disease is usually a heart attack. All right. So what we want to do is we want to get out ahead of all of this. And so I love how Abraham Hicks says, when we're doing, like, say, some of you who don't care for exercise, which is fine, Cynthia doesn't either, it's like swimming upstream, okay? But when you are in the flow and you're enjoying it, you're floating on a raft down the stream, all right? The secret is pivoting and finding that sweet spot so you can just float down the river, okay? And speaking of your heart is a muscle. And like your biceps and your abs, if you want a strong heart, you need to work it. So I'm going to talk about the 5 different, I didn't have time to prepare a PowerPoint, so I'm just going to talk to you guys, okay? And I'll write something up for tomorrow's replay. But the 5 components of fitness are cardiovascular fitness, strength training, flexibility, mobility, and balance, okay? They are all important, but guess what? Most women especially focus on the number one. They're cardio queens. And they think, oh, I'm going to do all this and I'm going to lose weight. Well, there's a great quote that says, biceps are made in the gym and abs are made in the kitchen. So weight loss happens with your fork, okay? Or maybe it's your fingers, I don't know. But it doesn't happen. It's not about beating your body up to get the weight off. It's really about nourishing yourself, because your body's job is to keep you alive. And so you need to provide it the tools that it needs. And it's funny because I was talking to Ellen the other day about her presentation, and she said something really great. She said, if you only have a hammer, you're not going to be able to build a whole house. Okay. So if you think about that, we have our QT waves and they're a great, great, fabulous tool, life changer, but we need more tools. Okay. Exercise is one of them. So let's talk about your heart, your cardio. So your heart is a muscle. It needs to be worked. And there are multiple ways to do cardio, and you need to do a variety. And I think I've told some of you this story, is that my husband, he's been doing mountain biking for probably about 20 years. All right. He's a really good mountain biker. I can't keep up with him. But in June, we were away on a trip and I took him on a hike with me. Behind the resort, there was a mountain and he could not keep up with me. I had to turn around, go back and get him, go past him, come up, meet him again. And then I was up ahead of him again. It was crazy. So he was like, oh, this sucks. I'm not going to let her do this to me. So he started hiking with me every Saturday. He's like, okay, we're going to go on a hike. And you know what? Now he can keep up with me. So, and it's a short time, right? Like it only took him like 3 months to improve his fitness just by doing it again and again and again. And he likes it.
That was just once a week, right?
Yeah. Just once a week.
Yeah, once a week. So there's your 90 days.
Imagine.
That's exactly 90 days. Yeah.
So when I first started doing the hug videos, I don't know if you guys saw them, but I did a fitness test where you would walk a mile, do a plank, see how long you could hold it. Maybe you ran a mile, I don't know. See how many push-ups you could do and see what your flexibility was. And then just recently I came out with another video that was a retest, or maybe some of you never did the first test, and that's okay, because every 90 days we'll do a retest to see, how you've improved. But the focus is just take one step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Lao Tzu said that. And my kids, my whole family has been in Taekwondo. So I usually quote like the Book of Zen because of that. So, but cardio is important. Now, there's two different kinds of cardio. There's something called low intensity steady state, and there's something called high intensity interval training. Well, the best thing is both, doing both, because they're different. So my husband on the mountain bike, when he's climbing a hill, he's pretty much in high intensity interval training. Oh, excuse me, low intensity steady state, because it's just continuous, right? He's just pedaling pretty much. Taking a walk is low intensity steady state. Okay. If you're just doing a flat track and you're just walking, it's like that. However, high intensity intervals is when you go really hard and then you slow down, go really hard and then slow down. So there's a guy that comes to my mountain. I call it mine. It's across the street. And he does repeaters. So he'll walk up the hill and then walk down, and then walk up the hill and then walk down. That would be a high intensity steady state. But when I did a recent cardio video, you only do 20 seconds of hard, 10 seconds of easy. Okay. 20 seconds, 10 seconds. That's called Tabata. That is a really, really great way to do a simple HIIT exercise, or a high intensity steady or high intensity interval training. And let me scratch that. My husband's mountain biking is not low intensity, not at all. It is not LISS. Walking is LISS. And there is a really important place for that. And but you do want to, in order to strengthen it, there's something called hormesis, which is you're putting stress on a muscle, and then it's the recovery time that's important. So when I used to teach fitness classes. And when I did, we would take heart rate after the primary cardio, and then again a minute later, because we want to see how quickly we can make our heart recover from work. All right. And hormesis will help make your heart stronger by stressing it and then recovering, and stressing it and then recovering, because your gains are made during rest. Okay. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So that's a really important thing, but it doesn't stand by itself. So let's talk about strength training. Now, many women are afraid of getting bulky. Okay. They're like, oh, I just don't want to get all bulky and muscly and all that. And I mean, that takes it's really hard to do. I've been lifting weights for maybe 30 years, and I don't think I look bulky. So, and I work hard. I do CrossFit. So it's like, it's very, very hard. And I just want to take that fear away from you. Okay. That is not something that's going to happen. However, it is very, very important for so many things. So it helps you be stronger. My mom has dementia, and maybe years ago, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, I was trying to, I signed her up for the YMCA for a year and tried to get her to go to classes. She didn't even go to one. She never went to the Y, and she had a membership for a whole year. So I would say, okay, you want to work out at home? And I got her exercise bands like these, okay, with a handle. And then they come with an anchor point, so you can put them in a door jamb and have some resistance, or you can just fasten them up against like a table leg or something. But I just said stand, sitting in your chair and standing up, sitting down and up, and just doing sets of, say, 5 or 10 of those throughout the day. She wouldn't do it. Now she can hardly get up out of the chair, out of the couch. She walks with a walker. She's unstable. And she had me to help her, but she didn't want to do it. So it takes you to that point of, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. We need thirsty horses. And I'm hoping that you guys are thirsty and you're here. So that's telling me you are, which I love. Thank you. So we need to do strength training. I have done so far 2 videos to help with that, at least 2, for upper body. Because lower body, I'll do another video for lower body, but lower body, I did a wall sit. That's a really good thing. Just doing a sit stand. So you sit in your chair, you stand up, and you squeeze everything when you stand. And then you sit, and then you stand up and you squeeze everything. And those are things that you can do without weights. But I'll show you some things. I'll make another video for lower body strength that you can use resistance bands and or power block dumbbells or some sort of a dumbbell. And I'll talk more about that later. The next component that's super important is flexibility. Okay. My quote earlier, blessed are the flexible, for they shall not break. That is a mental thing as well as a physical thing, right? Because if you have flexibility, you will have a lower incidence of injury. Okay. Pulled muscles and things like that happen because they're tight. You know, we were talking on some call about foam rolling, and healthy tissue doesn't hurt. So if you have healthy tissue in your body, then foam rolling doesn't hurt, but it helps break up adhesions in your body, in your fascia. And I'll talk more about that. So that it's more pliable. Okay. So many people are tight, just so tight. So what happens is we have our skin is layered. So we first have our muscle, all right, and then fat, and then fascia, and then skin. So your fascia is a connective tissue. And that's why it could look like some people have cellulite, because the fat is pushing through the fascia, because the fascia gets rigid over time. And then the fat pushes through and it like bubbles up through it. So that's why it gives skin, or it gives your leg or whatever the appearance of cellulite. But all it is sticky fascia. Okay. Excuse me, I need to take a drink. So by foam rolling, you get this hard foam roll, and I'll do a video to demo like how to use it. And you roll on it, and I ask people, do you have a foam roller? Yeah, I have one. Okay, well, do you use it? Because it doesn't work through osmosis. You know, you need to actually use your tools to build your house. So healthy tissue doesn't hurt. So when they say it hurts and that's why they don't do it, it's because their tissue isn't healthy, which means you need to use the foam roller so that it's healthy tissue. Okay. And by doing baby rolls. But what happens is when you have unhealthy fascia and it's sticky and rigid, when you try to stretch that muscle, the belly of the muscle won't stretch, only the insertion points. And that's why we get problems with our hips and our knees, because our muscle isn't stretching. It's like the tendons and ligaments that are getting the stretch. Okay. So we also want to, in that flexibility component, is we want to break up that fascia. Okay. And by doing all this, it helps your mobility. So your mobility is the range of motion that a body part will move in a joint. So one thing that I know a lot of people get, including myself, is neck issues. And oftentimes it's because we are down here, not back here. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do this together really quickly. So it's actually going to be slowly. So go ahead and take your chin and put it to your chest. And this is going to be 12 o'clock. Okay. Then very, very, very slowly go to 1 o'clock, rolling your head towards what you'd call 1 o'clock. And then 2 o'clock, really slow. And now 3 o'clock, your ears to your shoulder. And now go back to 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So chin is all the way up and head is back. And 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, your left ear is to your left shoulder. 10 o'clock, 11, and 12. Now reverse. Go back to 11. Snap, crackle, pop. 10. 9. Oh boy, am I popping. 8. 7. And 6. 5. 4. 3. Oh, it feels so good. 2. 1, and back to 12. Okay. That is the best way to relieve tension. Okay. So getting rid of tension headaches, just loosening up all of the muscles, ligaments, tendons. Your head is heavy. So your neck has a big job, right? To carry that around all day. So we need to give it some love by doing that mobility work. All right. So if you could do that a few times a day, it will make all the difference in the world. You can also, I made a mobility video, so you guys can watch that. You want to do mobility with your other joints as well. Your wrists, your shoulders, your arms, your ankles. That is super important. So mobility is underrated. Most people don't even concentrate on it. Okay. And the last and very important thing is balance. And I'll tell you, many, many, many seniors fall and break their hip, end up in the hospital, get pneumonia, and that was it. That's what happened to my grandmother. She was dancing, vibrant lady. She was very thin and I'm guessing she didn't have very good bone density, but she was out dancing and fell, broke her hip, died with pneumonia in the hospital. So we need to have balance. So when we trip, we can recover ourselves and not go down. And it's not always possible to avoid a fall. However, we want to have as much balance and grace as we can. So practicing, like even while you're just standing there brushing your teeth, brush the upper teeth and stand on your right foot, brush the lower teeth and stand on your left foot. Barefoot is best. You want to be able to use your toes to grip the floor. All right. So balance. So those are the 5 components of fitness. So if I was coaching a new client and saying, okay, and I don't take new clients, just FYI, I don't take clients anymore. But if I was coaching, you guys are my clients. How cool is that? Boy, QHS gives you lots of good membership benefits, right? You have the Vibe Tribe, Key. Now you have WoW. We love you. You can feel that, I'm sure. So getting back to this, if I was to put a client on a program for fitness, it would be simple. 2 days of cardio, 2 days of strength training, 2 days of flexibility, mobility, and balance. You can do those together. Mobility, ideally, you do it every day. All right. Like when you're watching TV, pull out your yoga mat and take 10 minutes and do some mobility work. And while you're down there, you can do flexibility. The YouTube has a gazillion videos that you can follow. So to do the strength training, all you need is a set of resistance bands. This is like level 2. Level 1 would be like the green bands, but they come with all of them. And you can just swap them out as you get stronger. Okay. My son, during COVID, he got some resistance bands. He lives in New York City. So unlike me that just did whatever I wanted, no matter what, he was kind of more, in New York, right? So he stayed home and he did resistance bands. He got so buffed. I could not get over it. And he only did twice a week. So it's pretty cool what you guys can accomplish with a set of resistance bands. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, you can get little dumbbells, but my favorite is something called, oh goodness, hold on. I'm going to find the name exactly for you so that you can.
Tracee, can I make a comment while you're looking for it?
Yeah.
Can I comment? Yeah. When I was doing a lot of ergonomics for some big companies, I used to do a demonstration that exactly pointed at what Tracee just said to all of us. The head is very heavy. And when they were sitting at their computers, like at Hewlett-Packard, for instance, they all had neck and shoulder injuries and upper back. And I would make them take a 5-pound bag of sugar and hold their hand out, when they're sitting here with this weird posture with their mouse and their keyboard way out in a weird position. I would make them stand and hold that 5-pound bag. I don't know if you've done this, Tracee, and just hold it out. And they said, well, ouch, that hurts. That's what you're doing. When you're not sitting properly with a 5-pound head on a normal adult, and on top of that, you're stretching that fascial tissue that Tracee just talked about, which is your myofascial, soft, and connective tissue. And in fibromyalgia, you get fibro lumps. I have pictures of them that have actually been under a microscope in a biopsy, and I've had them, and I still have some. And that fibro lump that you get that are like, it's not cellulite, it's a hard lump that hurts, is exactly what Tracee just talked about. It's the myofascial tissue, which is the glue that holds us together, that's all knotted. So to your point, that was really important information, because most people don't understand, one, how heavy their head is, and number two, that the lumps that we get with things like fibromyalgia are soft and connective tissue knots. They are called fibro knots. I've written lots of articles about that. So what Tracee is pinpointing here is very important for you to remember. Our head is about 5 pounds. Just stand up and try to hold a 5-pound bag of sugar, and you'll see what starts hurting.
Or
Thank
even
you,
just
Tracee.
like a 1 pound, anything. It's a lever, right? When you're holding things, you want to hold them close to your body so that you're not having a long lever. It's heavier out here than it is if it's here. Okay.
Right.
So they're called
make
adjustable.
Sure your mouse is adjustable what?
Adjustable dumbbells. That's what the term I was looking for. So the reason these are great is I've had a pair of these, you guys, for probably 25 years. And I still have them. So the reason is because, for space, like if you had, say a 5 pound and a 10 pound and a 15 pound, it takes a lot of space, right? But the adjustable dumbbells are 2 handles, and then they have these things that add on to make them bigger and bigger and bigger. And ours go from 5 pounds all the way up to like 80 pounds because my husband uses them. Okay. Wow. So, but you don't need that much. As just starting out and stuff. I think our intro set that we got went to 45 pounds, which is still a lot. And, but they're wonderful because then as you get stronger, you can use them and they don't take up a lot of space. However, individual dumbbells are great, but I never say, just do 3 sets of 15, because to me, if you can do 3 sets of 15, you need a heavier weight. That means it's too light. All right. So we want to, and so let me also talk about, there's something about strength training or hypertrophy. So have you seen a bodybuilder before? Yeah. They do hypertrophy training, meaning they get really buffed. So, have any of you guys seen and heard Dr. Jan Halper Hayes talk like on the circuit, the Truther circuit lately? Did you guys hear? She was on Elijah's streams and she said that she used to be a power lifter. Okay, that's kind of what I do at CrossFit. She deadlifted 350 pounds and she only weighs 110.
Yeah, she's tiny.
She's tiny. But so what I'm telling you this is because if a 110-pound woman could deadlift 350, she's doing something called strength training. All right. Hypertrophy training is what bodybuilders do to bulk and to get that big, muscular stature. I don't do that. I don't want my shirts to fit me tight in the arms or legs, or I like doing strength training. And that's what I recommend, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you have these big muscles. It matters that you can support your body and all the activities that you want to be able to do, right? That's my opinion. Could be wrong, but for most of us, that's what we want. So anyway, so for strength training, you can get resistance bands. And if you want to take it to the next level, get some sort of a dumbbell. Okay. But if you want to take it to the highest level, get the adjustable dumbbells. Somebody like Surge, because, or maybe Ansem, I don't know, but like guys usually need more than just like 5 or 10 pounds, and you will outgrow those 5 or 10 pounds really quickly. I've shared with you guys on different hug videos about Willie Murphy. Okay. She started weights when she was 74 years old with 5-pound dumbbells. Fast forward, when she was 77, she was about 120 pounds. She could deadlift 220. Okay. Whoa. At 77. That's why I say you're not too old and it's never too late. Okay. And then for the flexibility, mobility, balance, for the flexibility and balance, a really good yoga class. I did one for you guys. There's lots of yoga videos out there. Gaia is a great website. I think the membership there, they have lots of yoga classes on Gaia, but you could get free ones online on YouTube. Okay. So just all I'm saying is look for beginner ones. If you've never done it, go slow. I did a beginner yoga video, super slow, very basic, so that you can learn like how to do it. When I was a yoga teacher, I didn't stand there and do the class myself. I walked around and made sure everybody was doing it correctly. Okay. Most yoga classes you take today, the teacher wants to get a workout, and so she's doing the class herself. All right. I want to make sure that the students are doing it correctly. And so, but I haven't gone back to teaching since COVID because I'm just too busy now. Okay. So that is all I had, you guys. But what I want you to do is understand how age is going to happen. All of us are getting older every minute of every day, but we can reverse the symptoms of aging by having better fitness. We can have more energy. We can have a better feeling in our body. We can have better, brain chemistry because of the endorphins that kick in. There's so many things you can do. I used to teach Zumba. That's a lot of fun, is dancing, right? But you want to have stuff that has a little bit of everything. I actually, on YouTube, I have a whole Zumba playlist. I posted it in the chatty chat quite a while back.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, other than I dislocated my knee teaching a class one day.
Oh, geez.
I know, I collapsed. It was really crazy. So I really want you guys, your homework for the week is to move every day and do something different. All right? Do one thing every day, whether it's walking, mobility, yoga, cardio, strength training, but do one thing every day so that you can work on this new healthy habit of strengthening your body. And do something different. Don't do the same thing every day. Do something a little bit different every day. That's what I love about CrossFit, is because our workouts are never, ever, ever the same. And if our body can't do something, like today, because of my toe, I could not do lunges. So I did squats instead. But you need to listen to your body and just focus on you anchoring the belief that you are worth it and that you are going to be better off in the end. It just takes a minute to get used to it. But if you say, I'm going to do this for 90 days, and then if you absolutely say, oh, it hasn't made me feel better, then talk to me. I'll talk to you one-on-one. Okay. All right. So you've got your homework assignment, and now what we're going to do is I have 2 more parts and then we'll take questions. Okay, Kelly? So Dr. G, it's your turn. Recipe.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll tell you what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to give you all the ingredients, because when you get the recipe tomorrow, you're going to want to make it on the weekend, just like you said you were going to, Peggy. I'm going to hold you to that. She promised to give me a report after she makes them. So I'm going to give you just the ingredients. So you're going to need some mozzarella cheese. If you can't do dairy for some reason, get the vegan. You're going to need some Parmesan, preferably the shaved one, not the one that's already all crumbled. You're going to need an egg and some garlic. Am I going too fast? Okay. Lots of fresh basil. And don't use the dried. It'll be bitter. I stopped using dried. I have 100 herbs in my cupboard, but I do not have basil because it does get bitter. You need some flat leaf parsley, so get a nice big bunch. It's very inexpensive. You need and some balsamic vinegar, just a little bit, a dash of it. Just like on some pizzas. If you go to a pizza place like I used to go to that had gluten-free pizza, they always put a little bit of the balsamic vinegar or the balsamic vinegar reduction sauce, which they call, what I'm talking about. Tracee must know. It's a reduction sauce. It's a glaze on top. So if you want to put that on, you don't have to. That's as simple as what the dough is going to need. For the topping, it's let me see, is there anything that I missed? No, just make sure that you get plenty of the cheeses that I talked about. If you can't use regular dairy, buy goat cheese. You can get goat cheese that's in a hard chunk that you can shave. And you can also get the softer one that is like chèvre, which is a softer goat cheese that's spreadable, okay? So you really don't have to use this. This is what I used in all the recipes when I was teaching in Ecuador. And it comes out just like a strip of Italian bread with all these wonderful, yummy toppings. If you want to make it, a lot of my patients say their children love it, their family loves it, like a pizza. So they put olives and, you know, whatever. One lady said, I make it instead of pizza now, and I put ham and pineapple because that's her favorite. So those are the ingredients you need. Tomorrow you'll get the recipe. How's that for a teaser?
That's great. Thank you.
At least if you're going to go shopping for the weekend, then you have it. So take it away, Tracee.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. G. Okay, so the other thing I want to say to close, and then we'll take questions, is all of you, we were all born with beautiful gifts, and some of you have gifts that correspond to any type of a wellness activity, and we would love if you would share your gifts with us on a WoW call. So who do you know that would like to present these gifts? Is it you? Please reach out to me. Let me know if you think that you would like to share on a WoW call in the future, because we're going through admin. I have Ellen lined up, Kelly, Christine, and of course, Dr. G is going to present every other week. But we want to have, you know, I don't claim to know everything. And that's why I'm very open-minded and I love learning new things. I'm constantly reading. I love having Dr. Gloria on these calls with us because she's got decades of experience and a lot of research.
Oh,
and you
don't
guys
exaggerate that.
Well, I don't think you don't want everybody to know how old you are. That's okay.
No, I said I was 76. I don't hide my age.
Okay. Well, you look really, really good. You don't look 76. But we're going to, you guys, we are all going to create a new 76. You know, when they said 50 is the new 30, guess what's going to happen post QARC, you guys? We're going to create the new, like, it's going to be a lot of fun. So anyways, I want just to put that little, you know, dropping some seeds to see who is ready to go. You can get to me now or later or whatever, but we know that you guys have gifts. We have an amazing family of members and we love you guys. And we just want to tap into that as a resource. All right. So anybody can ask questions. We have some more time. I know Kelly had a question.
It wasn't so much a question. I just wanted to let you know, you can get a pair of like 25-pound adjustable dumbbells from I think even places like Walmart for as cheap as like $60 or $70. And if you were to buy all the, you know, like the 2-pound, the 5-pound, the 10-pound, the 15-pound, you know, all those separately, you'd spend way more than that anyway. So they're actually really inexpensive when you think about it, like long term. So I just wanted to put that out there, and you can just do a cursory search online and you can probably get something even cheaper online. So don't be afraid to try and have it shipped to you too, you know, so they're out there and they're pretty cheap. So
awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I had mine so long ago and they weren't cheap back then. I want to say my pair it was 25 years ago, it was like $300. So they've come down.
Yeah.
So thank you, my friend. Okay, Linda.
I wanted to ask Dr. Gloria if she would give us the broccoli recipe that she mentioned last week, if she would post that.
You mean for the creamy cheesy soup?
I looked one up on the internet, and it sounded like, because I've got my brewer's yeast, but I want to make sure that it's your recipe.
Oh, my recipe was so good; it was unbelievable. We'll make sure that we get it posted. We'll make it one of them. Thank you for that. Yes, thank you.
We can just make a note, Gloria, and then we can post it in the chatty chat. I hope all of you guys are in the chatty chat. Okay, Serge, you're muted.
Can you hear me now? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to suggest that It's possible to start with no dumbbell, no buying anything. Just use cans, cans of good cans, like Campbell soup, or and progress slowly until you feel like you need heavier weight. You laugh, but I have trained a lot myself and a lot of other people starting with stuff like that, or push yourself against the wall, or do semi squats, or there's all kinds of way to train without any equipment. Start without any equipment if you've never done it before, until you feel like you need to add to what you're already doing.
Yeah, that's a body weight exercise is really effective. And I did a video about doing push-ups to work your chest. There's all kinds of different things you can do, but the bands are only like $20 and they are so easy, because I feel that, like, for years, I did not train chest. I only trained back. You know why? Because when you train your chest, you're shortening these muscles. All right. So the goal is stretch the chest, open the front body, and strengthen the back body. But the hard thing is you need to be able to pull against something to work your back, unless, of course, you're doing Supermans just by laying on the floor. And that's what I like about the bands, is because you can work your back. And I feel like that's the most important body part to work. And when you work your back, you're working your biceps as well. So I know that's the vanity muscle, right? But yeah, there's so much you can do on the floor, but I have not ever found a body weight exercise you can do for your back. Do you have one, Serge?
I pretty much do what you say. I do reverse flies, laying down on your stomach, and with a very, very light weight in your arms, you sort of reverse. You know what flies are, right?
Yeah, but that's working your posterior deltoid mostly, not your back. But Supermans work your back. You can do that. Like, you just like lift your whole back body up, but it's not as well as this.
That's right.
As the stretchy band. So, but yeah, I mean, body weight exercise.
If I can interject to Sergey's point, after I had my horrible accident and got out of intensive care, I was doing weights and walking 7-8 miles a day. Couldn't do any of that. Not with the blood clots and the fractures in my leg and everything else. And my doctor said, get a couple of cans of soup, just like Sergey just said. And that's what I started with in order to build back up. I got soup, and I would do everything I had to do with soup cans in order to be, and then I got bigger soup cans, and then I couldn't hold them. So by that time I was okay, back to my weights. But it was funny. You should have seen me trying to hold this big can of soup, and I couldn't do it. But he told me that even that was okay, and just to roll it on my feet, because I was trying to build my muscles and my bones again in the fractured foot. So to Sergey's point, yes, if you've got to start slow and finances are an issue, cans work just to get you started. Thanks, Sergey.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't even think about that for today. Okay, so somebody asked if I could post my Zumba playlist. I just put it in the chat on Zoom here. You can do push-ups against the counter, like while you're cooking. That's great. I do believe it's important. You know how you take like your 10-15 minutes a day to mount or to meditate? Take that time, and just, even if it's 10-15 minutes, to exercise. Start slow. And so I just feel like it's a mental break from life as well. Cooking, it's like you have to cook, but I just feel like separating it is good. And you can work out at home. You can work out at the gym, whatever motivates you to actually do it. I like being around other people, so I like to go to the gym. Okay, there is not a chat for WoW, Jana, because we started one, and then Cynthia said, nope, I want everything to go in the main chat, because it's easier for us to monitor, as well as everybody, whether they come to the call or not, will benefit from anything I post in there. Okay. So if you guys have,
and plus we all have so much to read as it is. Yeah. It's a lot of reading as it is. So, I agree with Cynthia. It's nicer to have it all in one place.
Awesome. Yeah. So she wants, okay. So Trudy, I posted the playlist for you below. And that's on my old channel. I have not posted a video on there for 6 months since I started with QHS. But I do have a lot of fitness videos over there that you guys are, feel free to use them. Because I used to coach all my clients online. I quit training at the gym. So you guys, guess what? Is there any other questions? Trudy.
I don't have a question. I just have a comment. It was probably around 40 years old for me. And I started to train, and I trained with this man who was from Barbados, and he climbed banana trees. Okay. So he told me, he said, you want to build your body up, you don't want to bulk, he said, but you want to be so flexible that you could leap over a fence if you needed to. You could, grab a hold of something and swing into something. And so I could not believe the transformation in my body training with him. And he had me walk stadium steps at the college. And all I did was walk up and walk down very slow. And it was wonderful until like 2 days later when I couldn't even lift my leg. And I was like, wow, I didn't think I thought, oh, this is pretty easy, and I wasn't hurrying. I was just gently walking the steps up and down. It's amazing the little things that you do that really does impact certain muscles that you don't even think about, But the flexibility was amazing. I could lift something and move it really quick and not even think about it. And my girlfriend would say, well, how'd you do that? And I said, what? She said, you moved that futon that was solid oak. And I went, I don't know. I just moved it out of the way, But I was a lot smaller then as far as weight wise. Now that I'm 70 and I'm a little bit more, I can see how I lost so much, that he taught me. So doing this little bit by little bit is going to get me back in shape again.
Yeah. And muscle has memory. Yeah. I had knee surgery and my leg went to mush after my knee surgery, like squishy, soft, and it was so fast. I was like, what? And it all came back. I mean, I'm stronger now than I was before. And so, yeah, your muscle has memory and it likes to be working, So that's awesome. And I would advise if you guys want to do, a climbing type thing, to do a hill instead of steps, if you can find one close to you. And only because the steps you can trip easy, especially coming down. And I don't want anybody to get any injuries. Everybody has to be safe and know their limits. Don't go out, balls to the walls and just go crazy. Just start slow, take your baby steps and check in with yourself and listen to your body. And, but it's all about focusing on the belief that this is going to help you long term. Because even after the Q arc, all right, you're not all of a sudden going to be like way stronger. You're going to, and then that's going to also go downhill. And I'm going to be honest, I had this discussion with Cynthia. If we go back to the lifestyle that got us sick in the first place, it's going to be a long time before you get a turn to go back in that bed. So symptoms will come back quickly. And with Dr. Gloria's whole anti-inflammatory cooking, that is super important. And let me just clarify one thing. Not 100% of the people have a sensitivity to like tomatoes and potatoes. Okay.
Right.
A lot of people do. And especially if you have illness, but not everybody does. And there are ways that you can heal your body and heal your gut and perhaps even go back. But for now, just, tune in. And that's why last week's homework was a food diary, or a couple weeks ago was a food diary, to see what inflames you. Cabbage inflames me. I can't eat cabbage, but maybe it's one of your superfoods, right? We're bio-individual. So just really notice that. And then Karina asked for the homework. So the homework is to do something every day when it comes to movement. It could be a yoga class. It could be a It could be a walk or a hike, or do some dancing, do some band work. Just do something and try something different. Don't repeat it. So don't go, I'm going to go on a walk every day. Try something different so that you're creating that hormesis, that stress that strengthens you. All right. And the other thing it does is when you do something that you don't really want to do and you do it anyway, it gives you grit. It helps you develop grit. And that way, when you have more grit, you are going to be able to do other things that you don't want to do and you do them anyway, right? It's going to be easier and easier to challenge yourself. So, okay. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, any feedback, or do you want to go down with your day?
Somebody's got a question about Candida. I didn't see it though.
Where?
It popped up a minute ago. I don't know. I just saw it on the chat. It popped up. I don't know who it is though. I couldn't see it quick enough.
I don't see it. If you can't do what you love what you do. Yeah, that's a good one, Barbara.
Yes.
I drove around my area and picked hills, and I would walk up and down 1-2 times a week. Awesome, Trudy. See, that is fabulous.
Good.
And I'm going to tell you, I just did a video. I don't know when it's coming out. I think it's actually out on YouTube, but it's not in the newsletter yet, on nature hikes and the benefits of connecting with nature and really truly absorbing everything you can from this creation that we were given by being outside, getting the sunshine, getting the fresh air, and having gratitude. I do a gratitude practice when I'm outside, and I love just talking to nature, especially like the what are they, dragonflies? I see those all the time. The birds. I listen to the squirrels, and I just have gratitude. And when we have more gratitude, God gives us more to be grateful for. Okay. So live in that joy, and work on your beliefs. Okay. Here's the question, Dr. Gloria.
Okay. Deborah.
Do you want to read it or
go ahead?
I
can't see it.
Okay.
No,
I have a question about the saliva test for Candida. I listened to week 4 call last night and tried the saliva test this morning. I may not have had enough saliva. There was nothing to photograph. I did notice some floating on top and some sank to the bottom, but after 2 minutes, the water was clear. I'm thinking to try again with more spit. What say you?
Okay. Yes. What say me? You do have to get a lot of saliva. And if it just floats on top, you're fine. But within the 2 minutes, if you start seeing what we call legs going down, streaming down, you have a moderate case. And if you've got tornadoes, like the pictures that I showed, or it just sinks, you've got a lot. So make sure that you don't move the glass and that you time it 2 minutes. After a while, you'll kind of know what 2 minutes is and you won't have to do that. The other thing is that you shouldn't do the saliva test every day or every other day because it's going to depend on what you've eaten, just like your pH does. And we're going to do a show on pH. So I do it every Sunday. I've done it for probably 30 years. I do 2 things on Sunday. I check my urine pH and my Candida first thing in the morning on Sundays. It's the only day I'm not rushing to get on a call or talk to a patient or do some writing, deadlines. So find a day that you can remember, make it part of your routine, make it a habit. And after you do it 4 or 5 times, it'll become a habit. So once a week is enough, and make sure you get plenty of saliva. And if you sleep with your mouth open or you snore, you're going to be dry in the morning. Then make sure that you drink some water before you go to bed so that you do have enough saliva. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to. So try it again and report to us next week.
Lori has a question. Go ahead, unmute, babe.
Yeah, Lori.
Hi, Lori. Hi, Lori. Hi, Dr. Gloria.
Hi, Lori.
Anyway, never mind. I have a really hard time because I drink all night long. I wake up with completely dry mouth and I have to drink. So I tried not to drink so that I could take the test, and I could barely get anything. I mean, so then I tried again the next night and I drank in the middle of the night because I couldn't not. And I got some, but I didn't know how much exactly, and I didn't know how long to wait. So I guess you just wait 2 minutes and then you can.
Yeah, wait 2 minutes afterwards. But, somebody asked me that the other day. Well, how much saliva should you have? I actually measured mine. I know it sounds gross, but I couldn't give an answer. I didn't know. It's one big spit, right? So it's about a little less than a tablespoon. Just get enough that it'll float on top of the glass. And the glass being, a normal size mouth, glass with a normal size mouth, not a tiny little, whiskey jigger. You want a glass that you can actually see. But there are many things you can do in order to get more saliva if you're that dry.
Yeah.
But for right now, just try drinking some water. It's okay if you drink water at night. Just don't drink it like in the morning before you do the saliva test. Okay?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But if you drink during the night, it's okay. A lot of people have to take a drink during the night. And report to us. Let us know how it worked.
Okay.
That's
thank
how
you.
we all learn. That's how everybody learns from what everybody goes through. So please report back, Lori.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you guys, WoW 5 is in the books. Thank you so much for coming, hanging out with us, and thank you for taking time for yourself. Okay? Thank you for making yourself a priority and being committed to aging stronger and healthier instead of sicker and weaker. Okay? Love you all. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Q&A call. Okay?
Love you all. Take
Bye
care.
for
Thank you,
now.
Stay
Tracee.
safe.
Thank you, Dr. Gloria.
Bye-bye.
Everybody.
Mhm.
Mwah. Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.